I've just been like listening to, you know, if you've been following me, I should say hi. My name is Hannah. Welcome to my live stream. And I'm an intuitive healer for celebrities. If you don't know me, welcome. I was just thinking, if you follow me, then you'll know that if I find a piece of music that I like, I listen to it over and over and over and over and over and over again. And the thing with music is, if you saw my, you know, the importance of anchoring in live stream I did not long ago, I can share the link if you like to watch that. The importance of anchoring in with music. Hey Amanda, I just, when I find a piece of music that I really enjoy, I listen to it over and over and over again. I don't know why, I just do. Like, I can have the album on repeat all day while I'm working. It just kind of puts me in a zone, but I absolutely love it. And the album that I'm listening to at the moment is Kino. He's a drum and bass, what's a drum and bass DJ, and I love it. Like, I'm literally, you know, like, it's literally going over and over and over again. And I was just like listening to it, and I'm like, oh, I have to go on live stream. I have to turn the music off. You know, and a lot of people ask me, you know, like, how do you stay, you know, high vibe? How do you stay lots of energy? How do you do that? And it really comes down to your mindset. And so I really wanted to talk to you today about, you know, reclaiming your power and how to do that. And it's focus, focus, focus. Pretty much is your focus, right? I'm just going to put in, where was it? The importance of anchoring in. Oh, maybe I haven't put it on YouTube yet. All right, I'll have to do that, and I'll come back and put it in here for you. Now, I'm just going to share this live stream. So the importance of anchoring in, you know, like when you're manifesting something, it's really important to keep your vibration high. And well, it's important to keep vibration high anyway, but you know, like, if you're really wanting to manifest something, you need to have a high vibration. You need to, you know, be really conscious about what you're thinking and, you know, focusing on, you know, all of the time. Amanda, I'm currently reclaiming my power after a guy was using me. No more being used by people. I'm taking back my power. Yay! Yeah, it's a big thing, taking back our power. And as I, you know, wrote in that blog yesterday, that was a really, really powerful download for me. That one of, you know, like the truth of why you're scared of the government's power, and ultimately it's because you're scared of reclaiming your own power. You know, like, we're scared of what they can do because, you know, they're so powerful. But what it is the reflection out there is our power. Because ultimately, if we are limitless, infinite beings, that, you know, is all the spiritual teachings and spiritual texts and all that sort of jazz that, you know, goes around on the net and in all the spiritual, you know, groups. It's like, we're infinite beings and we're limitless. And it's like, well, why aren't we experiencing that? It's like, well, because we're too afraid of claiming that much power. Usually because in some past life, especially if you resonate with being a teacher, healer, wisdom bringer, you know, like, if you're aware and conscious on some level, shape or form, you would have had a past life where you know, usually you've had a past life where you've carried that trauma of being killed for your gifts. Because as I've said in a lot of my teachings, that only 200 years ago, you know, we're still being burnt at the stake for being who we are, right? So we're scared of stepping back into our power in this lifetime and really reclaiming that, because we don't want to be killed again. It's a definite collective field. And if you watched my empath video on YouTube the other day, I go into detail about this. And it's really about, you know, like, working on your own wounds, traumas, you know, all that stuff that's sitting in your energetic field, not only from this lifetime, but your soul's memory, your soul's DNA, your soul's, you know, remembrance that we carry over from each lifetime. So yeah, it's about, you know, healing those wounds, but it's also about reclaiming the power that you had in those lifetimes as well. Yeah, it's about tapping into that. So what I wanted to share and say today is that to reclaim your power, right? It's you know, whatever you're projecting out there is what's in you, right? Whatever you're getting triggered on out there, whatever's happening out there, and you're really focused or you're really antsy about it, usually it's igniting a fire within you, right? And that fire is there for a reason, because on some level you have some sort of what's the word, tie in or thread to your life purpose about helping that shift on the planet. Yeah. And when we reclaim our power, it's really about focus. So Mother Teresa, well ahead of her time. And it's interesting, I was thinking about this before I jumped on live stream. I'm not sure if you saw, it was a little while ago now, but I was doing a live stream at the beach. And I was talking about all these things. I have a feeling it was actually the Single Dads live stream. If you haven't seen like Single Dads, I've got something to say to you. No, I think it was the one after that. I'll have to go back and check. Anyway, the point of my story is that Buddha came through really strongly, right, on that live stream around, you know, like drinking your own poison. You know, if you're angry or resentful at somebody, you're drinking your own poison. The only person you're hurting is yourself. That anger and resentment sits in yourself, yeah? And it's just that that person is reflecting something back to you that you're not willing to own. And it's usually, right, we talk so much, and my blog a lot yesterday was about, you know, the fear is just unconsciousness, yeah? And when we make it conscious, it becomes a light and the fear's transformed, right? It becomes conscious, it's like there's nothing to fear anymore. So when we're reclaiming our power, we talk so much about, you know, embracing the dark and, you know, healing shadow isn't just about healing your darkness. It's also about healing the light within you. Because as my blog shared yesterday, you know, like as Marianne Williamson says, it's not your dark that you're afraid of, it's your light. And that's why there's such a big uproar around, you know, the government and all this sort of stuff. It's like, oh my God, they're so, you know, they're doing this to the world. And like, yeah, there's a lot of tragedy in the world right now. Like there's phenomenal amounts of ridiculous things going on in the world that human beings are just like, why? What are you doing? You know, like, it's like, this like logical sense, like, what are you doing? This is wrong, right? And when you get fired up about that, there's some sort of thread within you that you have a purpose to somehow shift that. If you're continually focusing on that without doing the inner work of why you're feeling so passionate about it, why, you know, and actually doing something about it. So there's a difference between the stuff going on in the world and you feeling really fired up about it. But if you don't, again, if you don't bring that back to you and go, okay, why am I being triggered about this? What is this reflecting in me that I need to embrace and own? And then with that, when you go, okay, I'm getting really fired up about this topic, situation, blah, blah, blah. Why? Bring it back to you. What that does is it takes your energy and focus off them. You stop projecting it, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, right? So you could be, oh my God, that, you know, but we're scared because we just want to change it, right? But when we bring it back, we figure out why we're being so fired up. We actually integrate our shadow of what that's reflecting. And then with that comes that transformation and that change. When we're continually focusing on it because we're fired up and we want it to change, but we're not doing anything to change within us about why we're getting fired up about it, we're continually to feed that energy, and so it's not going to shift on the planet until we all start taking back our power and going, okay, well, what do I need to do about this in my life, right? So some people I've noticed have had a bit of maybe confusion around, you know, well, it's not about ignoring it. And I'm like, well, no, it's not about ignoring it, right? If you truly believe that we are all connected, we are all one, we're infinite beings, it's all this, you know, that spiritual self-talk isn't woo-woo, right? Like, and that's the thing, hey Tabitha, that's the thing, if we are a oneness and we are connected and we are, you know, all in that sphere, then how can you be separate from that? Like, how can that not be a part of you? And if the universe is you and out there, it's about really looking within and going, okay, well, I need to shift this. And if you really understood the truth and really tapped into that, like, we create our own reality, oh, but I didn't create that, it's not my problem. Well, if we're all that oneness and that and like, let's all, you know, be oneness, but we're separating ourselves from that, well, that's not oneness. And the more we separate and judge that thing, the more it's going to stay there. But when we can embrace it and look what it's triggering with us inside ourselves, that's when we shift to a new level of vibration and consciousness, because we've stopped judging out there, and that judging, we're not judging, it comes back in and going, oh, what's this about? Oh, okay, this is this. And then we can, oh, imagine if, when we get these creative ideas, because we've tapped back into the truth, and the truth is love, and love is infinite. oneness and all that jazz that it is, right? So we don't have the same charge about it, and to people who are not there yet, it will look like to them that we're ignoring it, that we're not doing anything about it. But the truth is that we've done the work of integrating the darkest aspects of humanity, right? We're not judging the shootings, the killings, the hunger, the starving, all the stuff that's going on in the world. We're like, oh, this is very interesting. Well, I better create this to awaken people the fuck up so that that stops happening, right? Because when we keep focusing on it, as I said, Mother Teresa, well ahead of her time. I feel like she's really around me lately because I keep talking about her. But it's, you know, it's like if you understood the truth about create your own reality and what you focus on and the secret and the law of attraction and, you know, all that stuff. It's like, you know, when we're focusing on the shootings and the killings and stuff, yeah, acknowledge it. This is really bad. Those people are hurt, traumatized for life, affected their entire life for the rest of their life. It's really messed up, right? I get it. However, I need to continue keeping my vibration high, keep focusing on what I'm focusing on, and keep allowing, you know, myself to stay at this higher vibration. Because if I get dragged into that, well, then it's just feeding that and it's staying in that vibration on the earth. But when we can integrate that level of vibration into our being, because if we're getting charged up about something, it means that we're resonating, we've got a resonance within it, within ourselves. And this is where, you know, it comes into creating your own reality. And a lot of people, you know, watched like the Secret when it came out and, you know, all that sort of thing. There was a big thing. It was like, oh, The Secret, and, you know, do all these things. And they're like, it doesn't work, right? Why? Why didn't The Secret work for those sorts of people, right? Why did they give up? Because, yeah, there's an awareness of level of consciousness of understanding it and using affirmations and creating that. Then what comes up is the next level, the darkness, right? And if we're not ready to embrace that next level and integrate the darkest aspects of humanity within ourselves, then we will stay at that point and our life won't move any further. But when we learn and understand shadow work and really work on that next level of consciousness, that's when your entire life shifts. Now, it's really interesting that as I teach the chakras, right, and if you follow me, you know I teach the crown, the third eye, ears, throat, heart, and down, right? Come down. So when we're talking about manifestation, reclaiming our power back and consciousness, and why The Secret didn't work, for example, is, okay, so we open to all these new ideas of The Secret. I'm going to use The Secret example. Open to, oh wow, yeah, let's change our thinking, and so the spirit comes in, yeah? And then we start, you know, awakening the third eye, and we have all these synchronicities and experiences, and our clairvoyance starts awakening, and our intuition starts switching on to the pituitary gland, and then we start listening more, and then it gets to here at the throat, right? So if we're not comfortable in receiving, so at the ears as it starts to come down, at the ears, if we're not comfortable receiving, because the ears are very feminine, they need to be open, and the ears are receptive. If we don't feel worthy enough to receive wisdom, money, love, abundance, whatever you're trying to manifest, your ears will be closed because you're not listening, because you're like, oh no, I need to do it this way, which is the mind or ego, whereas your heart's going, no, do this, and you're like, oh, that's a good idea. Nah, better not, because it doesn't make sense, right? This here needs to open. And then when we get to here, at, you know, our throat is the darkest levels of humanity. So, you know, is the throat chakra not just the darkest levels, but also the lightest, right? And this is why I'm saying if you don't learn to integrate your shadow, whether you're being triggered by all the suffering and pain on the planet of a particular event, or if you're seeing somebody more successful than you and you're getting resentful about it, or, you know, and it's not even getting resentful about it, I mean, that's part of it, but it's also being mindful and looking to who you admire in the world, who is like your inspiration, because that's your light aspects, that's your power, yeah, as well. So it's about integrating not only the dark, but the light as well. So when we reclaim our power, yeah, it's really about focus. As Mother Teresa says, invite me to an anti-war rally, I will not come. Invite me to a pro peace rally and I will be there, right? It's because when we're still focusing on what we don't want, we're going to attract more of it, because the universe is not listening to what we want and what we don't want. The universe is listening to what we're feeling most of the time. So if we're thinking and feeling most of the time we don't want war, like it's, even though we don't want war, we're still saying the word war. When we remove our focus off the killing, the suffering, all of that, it's not about ignoring it. It's still going on there. But when we are switched on, when we're conscious, aware, and we know the truth and the reality is that whatever we focus on, everything is energy. Wherever our attention goes, energy flows. That if we're still focusing on all that, well, then it's still feeding it. When we start going, okay, well, I don't want to focus on that anymore. I don't know what to do about that situation, but I know that it's not right for me to be focusing my energy on it, even though my heart hurts about the pain and suffering. We bring our energy back into here. Why am I so upset about it? What can I do about it? When you start listening to your intuition about the guidance that you receive, so you get ideas, you trust it through your intuition, your third eye, you can see different options and, you know, why things are happening on the planet, different dynamics, like, okay, those people doing that, okay. You're listening to, you know, your intuition, and that comes into your throat. You're integrating the darkness, you get it, right? Okay, so what are the positive people in the world doing? You know, if Mother Teresa here, what would she be focusing on? Or, you know, that kind of awareness to then bring into your heart, going, okay, well, what am I here for, right? If you resonate with any of this stuff, you've got a big impactful purpose on the planet that will help you to release the pain and suffering on the planet, basically, yeah? But it won't happen when we're still focusing on that. Your best way and form of reclaiming your power is your focus, right? Even, okay, and this happens when you shift up to a new level, so we're going to focus on, give you my example. Okay, my example is that I'm creating trusted intuition. I'm teaching people to trust their intuition so they get amazing ideas and they create a new reality. Okay, because this is a thing where people are a bit stuck too. I'm seeing that, you know, with all the pain and suffering, they're like, how's it ever going to, like, can't figure it out in their head. But we can never figure anything out in the head. Okay, intuition doesn't usually make sense. All right. So when we're looking at, you know, the universal laws of energy and attraction and all of that, right? It's like this sense of like, well, oh yeah, I understand that, but you kind of don't believe it because you don't really understand how that's possible. When we live in a material world, it's like, oh yeah, but we're still kind of in it, yeah? But when we have that, you know, bigger sense of awareness, when I teach people, for example, what I'm doing is teaching people to trust their intuition, because if you really think about it, yeah, the energy and all that sort of stuff and everything is atoms, and where our attention goes, energy flows, but most of us haven't really mastered that, so we don't really experience it. So we're like, oh yeah, I believe it, but because you haven't experienced it, it's not something that you truly believe, if that makes sense, yeah? So you might be believing it on a mind level, but not really on a body, feeling, experience, life level. Yeah, it's still up here. And you're like, oh yeah, I believe that, I get that. But it's not what you're experiencing, right? Still experiencing the same old life or patterns or whatever. So when I teach people to trust their intuition, this is where, you know, it opens up to a whole new reality of creating a whole new reality, because it, like, who knows? Anything is possible. But I don't know that we can, I don't know. Okay, the words I'm looking for is it will take a lot more energy and burnout and ridicule and all of that to try and change all those people's minds in all that negativity. It's not about trying to change people who don't believe in it, because people will wake up when they wake up. It's like you can't help anybody when, you know, they might need help, and you know they need help and you can help them, but it just won't energetically come into them because they're not open and ready, right? So when you learn to trust your intuition, you might get ideas that are like really out of the blue or left field, and you're like, you know, and it's just a passion. You know, if you look at me and my teachings, you know, I'm passionate about this stuff. I love teaching this stuff. Find what lights you up. Find where that is for you, right? Because that's your gift, that's your contribution to the world, because what that is doing is aligning you with your heart. And in that, that's creating our heart reality space. And what I think a lot of people get confused about is they're like, well, how can you just ignore that, you know? And it's like not, and when you don't have that level of understanding of integrating the shadow aspects, well, then it will look like ignoring. But what we're actually doing when we're removing our focus from what is bad in the world and what we actually don't want, we're creating what we do want. Now, because it's kind of at peak levels at the moment and all the structures are starting to crumble, the truth and the lies, and say like the sex scandal that's come out throughout pretty much the entire world, and big media and school, like the whole thing, right? We've stepped into Scorpio and the truth's rising out of the darkness, yeah? So it's like the more that we can focus on what we do want, that's going to grow and get stronger, right? But at the moment, because this is growing and getting stronger, that darkness is going, no, like it's like, you know, it's that thing I always talk about. There's something like one positive person to outweigh 10 negative people on the planet. So when you look at that scale and you look at the kind of what we do want consciousness in the world compared to what we don't want, it's in ratio. It's pretty well perfect, divinely perfect. So, you know, and as I said in that article yesterday, don't fear, because fear is here, and, you know, your mind, ego, and your fear is what is feeding that. That's why I teach people to trust their intuition, because if we've got more people trusting their intuition and heart, as soon as, you know, and what I teach in trusting intuition is becoming conscious of all your unconscious parts, and, you know, why you have fears and where they're leading you to and why, and, you know, they're your guides. Ultimately, when you understand that depth of trusting yourself, and we're focusing on here, it's just getting stronger and it's growing, and you can live in joy, is what they say, you know, like all the spiritual teachings. They're like, what is it? Heaven is on earth here. It's not some place. We're here now. People are like, but there's so much trauma in the world. And it's like, well, yeah, there is. So what are you contributing to? And it's about removing the guilt too. When you can step out of the guilt of, I see the comments, I'll answer them in a moment. It's removing the guilt of your people-pleasing abilities. So as a light worker, healer, earth angel, whatever you want to call yourself, right? You have a natural tendency to want to help the planet, help the world, to fix people. You don't want them in pain and suffering. Normal. That's human nature. Yeah? But as a light worker, healer, earth angel, whatever you resonate with, being sensitive soul, you have a mastery to get to, right? To remember why you are here, right? Because in our humanness, we will people please. But in people pleasing, we only burn out. Nobody gets helped anyway, because only the ones who want to awaken will awaken when they're ready to. It's all in the divine plan, remember? And the more that we can trust in that, the faster humanity will awaken. Because as you start integrating your darkness, and imagine, right? Imagine all the conscious healers and light workers of the world, because these are the people I'm speaking to. I'm not speaking to the people who are not yet awake, okay? Because they don't get it. But you guys get it. You already see that truth. You see what they're doing to them and all this is not right, right? But you have a level of consciousness already, and it's your responsibility to take that next level and integrate those aspects, the darkness. Because when you do integrate it, it's stopped being repelled, it's stopped being judgmented, it's stopped being separated from your own being. And imagine if all the people on the planet that were conscious and awake were doing their shadow work, that's what will shift the planet. Because every time a single light worker on the planet starts integrating their own darkness, what do? They don't feel triggered by it anymore, and they're creating this amazing new heart-spaced life. What's that doing? And then the other light workers are like, oh, I want to do that. I want to do that, right? And as all the light workers in the world, the conscious people who are already awake, start integrating that, that's what's going to shift the planet. That's who I'm speaking to. So if you watch my live streams, if you follow my blogs, if you follow me, right, I'm speaking to you because you're awake on some level. So it's up to you to take responsibility and to step up that next level and do your ultimate shadow work. So I teach this in Trust Intuition. Like I said, everything is in that friggin' course because this is what will help you to trust intuition and fully step into your life purpose. When you actually, like I was saying before, you move down the chakras, integrate, heart, right? Okay, what am I feeling about this? Have the confidence to trust yourself, take your power back, solar plexus, nurture your gift, your project, your idea, right? Sacral chakra, womb, you're giving birth to your project. Base chakra, life purpose, giving birth to physical things, money, finances, security, all of that, trust at the base. Yeah, that's why I teach coming down. So if you resonate with anything I'm saying, right, and you're not yet interested in intuition, what are you doing? No. I'm serious here, yeah? And if it's not my work, find shadow work. Like Debbie Ford has amazing, you know, teachings, you know, of the shadow realm and how to integrate your shadow. You know, there's still workshops that are being shared around the world about that. And, you know, like that she's written books on it. Michelle Lightwork has written Transforming the Darkness to Light in level 3 of the Lightwork Practitioner Training. Like, if you don't resonate with me, I'm not sure why you're watching me anyway. However, it's not just me that teaches this stuff. There's other lightworkers in the world, and it's time for you, if you're watching this, you're ready for the next level of consciousness, okay? Thanks, Heidi. I just want to tell anyone that needs this, that rings to you, take this class. I'm not even in module 3, and I'm learning so much and getting more and more enlightened. Yeah, it's I talk about it all the time, but I'm like, it's just coming from me. But like, I see my students blooming and blossoming too, and it's amazing. Okay, so let me just read these comments. So if you've got any questions, I'm not reading people's cards or anything like that today, but if you've got questions, I'm happy to answer. So Tabitha says, after the past few months of my journey, I see what people call woo-woo and craziness makes me so angry. Yeah, and I know my stuff, but it still saddens me. Okay, really want to speak to that. Thanks for that comment, because I really wanted to, I was thinking about it before and I got sidetracked onto another thread, I guess. But it's really important, right, that, you know, you are awake, you are conscious, right? And from my own personal journey, and I teach this in Trusted Intuition, I teach Trusted Intuition because I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I did and take 12 years to get where I am, right? That's why everything is in that course, in the structure and layout that it is, okay? So when you're talking about, I see what people call woo-woo and craziness makes me so angry, because for us, it's normal, okay? And that's why I've created Trusted Intuition as well, to find your tribe, okay? I'm like all my students in there from around the world, and I just have such a heart, like, it melts, you know, when I see you guys connecting with each other all over the world, and you're just like, oh my god, you totally get it, and I totally resonate with you. I'm like, yes, this is what I wanted to create, because not everyone in the world gets it, okay? So as I was giving the analogy before, it's like those people over there in the pain, hurt and suffering, or, you know, the victims, like not just the victims, but the people who are causing the pain and suffering for the victims, right? It's like I just said then, it's not about trying to wake them up, because they don't get it. They don't get it. What will wake them up is you integrating them. So when you're saying there, Tabitha, you know, I see what people call woo-woo and craziness makes me so angry. I know my stuff, but it still saddens me, because you do know your stuff, right? You do know your stuff. You might be on this live stream right now, but I've got a guy in Trusted Intuition as well, Cass. So on the live stream right now, yes, but I do know a lot of other awake guys too. So, you know, with that, you know, it makes you so angry, Tabitha, about them, you know, calling you crazy and woo-woo, because they're not the people you need to be talking to. You know, and that's the thing when you start stepping into this work and, you know, embracing your abilities even more. It's not about hiding yourself from people. It's not about censoring yourself. But I can't remember what quote or what Ascended Master said it or whatever, but I can't even remember. I don't know, maybe it's a Buddha quote, but it's like something about, I don't know, the ones with the most wisdom don't talk much. I talk all the time. But, you know, if you're in a situation, family or event or gathering where people are unconscious, imagine if you went up to everybody and started just sharing everything you knew about all this spiritual stuff. Well, yeah, they're going to think you're fucking nuts, right? Because they don't understand it. And it's in those situations where your power, right? And this is another point to realize that your power of your connection, your spiritual awareness, everything that you know, yeah, is beaming from within you. Okay, on my empath video and the affirmations that I wrote for there, it's like my power, my presence affects people without me saying a word. Yeah, my energy transforms people. People notice me when I walk into a room, and it helps them and they don't even know how. You don't need to say a word for your power and your presence to awaken people on the planet. That is where your power is. Because people will think you're crazy. And the flip side to doing what I just said, right, is that people will feel that from you, and you're not even trying. It's like, oh, I'm going to walk in a room and make everybody change because of my energy. No. No. Right? It's about coming from that heart space, that you have compassion for all those unconscious people in the room because they're simply unconscious. And when you can really understand shadow work and the depths of understanding that unconsciousness is just, fear and darkness, unconsciousness is just unconsciousness. It just needs to become conscious. And when you understand the depth of that, you will see every one of those people in the room that are unconscious as a reflection of you. And with that awareness, you will walk into that and have that sense that you'll be, in your heart space and, of that, of seeing everyone as a reflection of you and going, wow, I wonder what all these people have to teach me. Not the other way around. Because when you come from that heart space and that compassionate listening and understanding, and this is another reason why I teach with the chakras and having our ears open, because we're listening here before we're speaking with the wisdom that's coming down. We're open to hearing what people are saying, no matter if they're unconscious or not, because we're hearing the truth behind the words and the consciousness of where they're coming from, and then we can see with our third eye, because it's open, the dynamics that have led them to that point, and then we can have that compassion for them and that experience. And we listen before we speak. And we rarely speak because most of society has never been properly heard. And when we don't say a word and we listen from our heart, ears, heart, base connected, remember? Very interconnected, our ears, heart and base. Our base is being grounded in our body all the way down to our toes, connected to our base chakra, and trusting base chakra, that person is connected to their inner wisdom, and that by having someone just listen compassionately, they come to their own awakenings, their own realizations. And that is the most powerful form of awakening on the planet. So remember that when you go to walk into a room of unconscious people, or you're judging the unconscious people on the news or the media, or having a fight, and you're like, wow, there must be a part of me fighting within myself right now. What's that about? There we go, removing your energy. And we're going, oh yeah, I'm really angry and pissed off that I can't actually do that thing when I want to do that thing. But the other part of me is going, I want to do this thing. And then the other part of me is going, well, you can't because you have money or whatever it is. So you're fighting within yourself. So that's what you're attracting in your reality. Yeah? Because it's going on within yourself. And you go, oh, well, we can work on this plan and we can talk this out. This is shadow work. Yeah, taking it to the next level. And then what happens? Oh, okay, happy parts. So then those people disappear out of your reality and you don't attract it. Right? Anything that comes into your reality is a reflection of yourself. It's hard, isn't it? Heart. It's hard though, especially when I want to scream, why don't you understand? Yeah, okay. I'll read the other comments too, I see them all. That one just jumped out at me though. So it's hard though, especially when I want to scream, why don't you understand? The reason you're like that, Heidi, and I've experienced this, until I started putting together Trust Your Intuition, before Trust Your Intuition came about, I wrote my books, my 9 chakra books in 10 months. I set the date for a workshop, which was a month in advance. I wrote the Crown Chakra book, held the Crown workshop. I set the third eye chakra date for the workshop, in-person workshop. I wrote that book to be finished by that date. And so I went on for each chakra until I started grounding down my knowledge and wisdom in a book, workshop, now you see it online teaching. I had that same feeling. Why the fuck won't you just wake up and you want to tell everyone just to fucking shake them and wake them up? Where did you get it? Right? Because you've got all this knowledge and power and you know, right? And the thing that I was telling you just before about our focus as a conscious light worker, awake soul, is about integrating our darkness so that when we do that, we reclaim our power, we have the confidence and the trust in ourselves and in our life purpose and all of that jazz to put our actions. So writing a book, I remember you said something about writing a book. As soon as you start putting that knowledge down into your wisdom in a book, workshop, whatever it is, you won't have the same charge about why the fuck won't they wake up. It just won't be there. Why? Because you're doing something to help the world. Yeah, that's the focus again. It's not over here anymore. You're listening, what can I do? This is what I can do because I've got so much to say about this. That blog I wrote yesterday, the reason why you're so angry at the government, yeah, that was sparked. I had to do 3 live streams yesterday, 2 in my private groups, and then another one on the public live stream. In between jumping off the group live streams and stuff, post came up on the top of my feed about, it was a really negative, hateful post towards people who voted for equality in gay marriage, and it was really negative, and it came from a spiritual person, and I wanted to reply, and I'm like, just leave it, Hannah. And I read through the comments and stuff, and I was like, oh, I could live stream on this, and I'm like, no, just sit with that. And I did my live stream, and I got off, and I started replying in the comments because that was there, and again, coming from that heart space, I was like, no, this is, you know, whatever I said. And then the comments kept coming on this thread, and I was like, oh, I've got so much to say about this. So I wrote that blog, and it was one of the most powerful blogs that I've written. I'd already written my blog for the day, and I usually write 1 blog a day, but you know, it came through me and I had to write it. And then I was like, oh, felt better. It's like I had to get that out, and I didn't have the same charge about it anymore. Because when you have that charge, it's there for a reason. That's what I was saying about that angry, passionate fire, right? But don't put that fire fueling what we don't want. Go, oh, I got a fire about this, let me do something with it. And boom, there's your purpose, yeah? So what they talk about with the base chakra and the kundalini rising is in the base chakra. It's your life purpose. It's your boom, the fire rises and the snakes come up, because we're like, we get all this information, we take action, we come to boom, yeah? It's so powerful. So next time, yeah, write. Have your document open. If you don't write on computer, get your pen and paper and write, yeah? Any thoughts that you have, write them down, yeah? So it's a really powerful thing. So I just want to see, there was another comment here. So that was Tabitha's. Okay, so Carrie, can you manifest while you are still authentically healing through something that has sadness feeling? Is manifestation something you can do in moments, but have other moments of grieving that will not hinder a manifestation? Not sure how to word this. What does Abraham Hicks mean by the vortex? Okay, yeah. Awesome thing. And this leads on to the other point that I wanted to say on this live stream, is that when, okay, is manifesting, okay, can you manifest while you are still authentically healing through something that has sadness? I would say 100% yes. Do you know why? Because, and the answer would be no if you were not authentically feeling. Okay? Because as we know, energy is constantly moving. Energy does not stop moving, even in our physical world and body and what we think is actually physical. Those atoms are vibrating, yeah? It's just different densities of vibration, okay? So 100%, like, you know, I guess you could say the key to manifesting is make sure you're authentically feeling all of your emotions. Now, where the discipline comes in, okay, and this is the focus that I talk about, okay, where the discipline comes in, and again, it's a practice and we move through it and all of that sort of thing, is that, you know, when you're authentically healing through, you know, say a relationship breakup or a move in house or something like that, it's not that it's not possible. It might be a little bit, say, slower or something, in a sense that, you know, and this is why I teach what I do in Trust Intuition, because when you know how to clear wounds and heal from relationship breakups and all that sort of thing, I'm pretty sure you've read, but if you're watching my live stream and you're new and you haven't, is the, you know, how to let go of relationship when you don't want to, and how to work through the grieving process. Because when you understand that process, it helps you to move through things quicker and get back on track quicker, so you can manifest quicker, okay? Otherwise, it just takes time. We're still kind of going around those same circles for a lot longer. So in the sense there, when you said, can you manifest while you're still authentically healing through something that has sadness? I say yes. There was another person that jumped online and said hi, and I'm sorry I ignored you, but I didn't ignore you. I did see you. I just didn't say hi. Oh, Chanel. Was it Chanel? There was someone else too, I think. Anyway, I'm just saying hi, and I'm saying hi. Is it Shubra? So I do see your comments, but when I'm in flow talking, I don't stop that often. Okay, sorry. I just wanted to share here this, you know, can you manifest while you are still healing something, you know, and I want to give you a perfect example, okay, is that, you know, and this is again why I teach and Trust Intuition, and you know, you see me through my stories and stuff, is journaling, okay? Journaling for me is really powerful because it gets me out of my head and into my body, because I'm moving my pen on my paper. And it's a disciplined practice, so I set a timer for 15 minutes on my phone, even when I don't want to do it, even when I'm too tired and want to go to bed. I set the timer and I write 15 minutes, okay? As soon as 15 minutes stops, I'm like, cool, I've done my 15 minutes, right? It's a disciplined practice because it's training your brain. Sometimes that timer will go off and I'm like, oh, I'm in flow, I don't want to stop, right? The reason that I'm saying that is because even when you're healing from something, you can be journaling positivity and thoughts and retraining your brain, right? And that's why the discipline practice of manifesting, you know, there's several aspects to it, and I already have a feeling that I'm releasing Manifesting Magic course next year because this is all coming through. Is the fact that, you know, when you are journaling these positive things, you're still disciplining your brain, you're still telling the universe what you want, and when you're still healing, it's allowing the sadness and any emotions to move through you, because the thing that will stop your manifestation is not feeling and go, oh, I need to be positive and I need to push that down and everything's fine. But meanwhile, this big black, you know, heavy brick is getting bigger and bigger, and the universe is only feeling that, right? Because this is not authentic. This is what's authentic in the heart. And when you're authentically feeling the emotion, no matter what it is, you're moving it through. And as I said with the article, you know, how to let something go when you don't want to let it go, I'll just find it for you. I think a lot of you have read it on here, but if you're new watching my stream, is because, like I said, when you get to understand that process, you allow yourself to go through it a lot quicker, okay? And the reason being, I'll give you a prime example, is that, like, I've had a lot of positive, intensely amazing opportunities land in my lap in the past month to 6 weeks, and I'm busting to share with you guys. There's even a few of my posts recently I can't share yet, but, you know, there's a lot coming there. Okay, so what was I saying? Sorry, I just got sidetracked. So with, you know, that, so, okay, this is the other point that I wanted to share about reclaiming your power, manifesting, whatever it is, right? When we start doing our thing and putting our focus on our thing, our life purpose, yeah, you will always have people try and pull you down. And this is where your discipline, in your focus, in your power, comes in. In the start, you'll get hurt, you'll get pulled back down, you'll get sad. Normal. Then eventually you'll get stronger and you'll be like, oh, you're just sad that I'm doing my thing. That's okay. I'm going to keep doing my thing anyway, because that's what's going to help you, not me feeding and fighting with you. And it gets easier. Doesn't mean that you don't have the feelings of sadness, of rejection, of all those human emotions. However, because you're disciplined, you understand the grief cycle and the emotions in that article that I just shared, and you know how to support yourself in that. You'll be like, oh, and you know, you're like, oh, you know, you might have your initial reaction like, oh, then you're like, oh, you're just really sad and scared, and that really hurts my heart, and I keep doing my thing anyway. It might take you a little bit to get going again, right? Especially if it's family, especially if it's close friends, especially if it's people you didn't expect it to happen to, right? Or with. So, prime example for me yesterday, like I said, I've had so many amazing things happen in the past 6 to 8 weeks, and I'm just busting to share. And anyway, so being very high vibe. I've been very conscious at staying high vibe. Okay, because this is the thing, it's a choice to stay high vibe even when all this stuff's going on, even when you don't know how it's going to happen, even when everything looks like it's going against you. It's a choice to stay here and have the utmost faith. That is your power in your focus, in your disciplined journaling, in your disciplined manifestation practices, in your self-care rituals, in all of that. That is your power in reclaiming and staying here so that this continues to grow. Okay, so what happened, and I say yesterday, there's been other things that have happened, and you know, I'm writing my book specifically about all the actual incidences and everything so that you can really understand the power in focus, yeah? Because with these opportunities that have come up, you know, like I've been imagining them and journaling about them for 6 months around, and it's friggin' manifested, and I'm like, well, this stuff works, right? And then all my fears and doubts came up and everything, and it's just like, whoa, okay, I get it, I'm shifting to next level. As soon as you move to a next level, stuff will always come up, people will try and pull you down, and then you get so good at it that you're like, oh, people are trying to pull me down, I've really shifted to the next level, this is cool, I'm gonna keep going, right? But what happened yesterday is I actually received a letter, and it really hurt my feelings. However, in the letter was a photo of myself when I was, you know, a young toddler. And it just so happens that this week I've been working on healing my inner toddler and the feelings and stuff, because as I said, I've moved to next level, and then all my stuff's come up, and I've been working through all this shadow work, wound healing, you know, inner child, because inner child always gets scared, and you know, all this sort of thing. Again, all this in trust intuition. So as I've been working through this, I realized when I got to the core of it, you know, it was my inner toddler. And this photo turned up with this really nasty letter, but I read it once and I was just like, oh my God. And I immediately wrote back, you know, just because I needed to get that out of my system. And I wrote back in a very heart space. I was like, wow, you're really hurting. I'm sorry. You know, like, if that's really the issue for you, let's sort that out. You know, like, I really just came from a heart space, because one, it's a disciplined choice. Two, I didn't want my energy to pull back down to that. Two, it was really quite, I guess, it actually surprised me that it was quite easy for me to choose to stay in that high vibe space, because I'm very aware nowadays that every time I've just shifted up a level, there's always things that will try and bring me down, and it's a choice whether I go into them or not. It was a beautiful thing from the universe, just going, I was just like, oh, this just confirms all the work that I've been doing, and I'm like, wow, I've really just stepped up to this next level. So I just had this utmost gratitude. I'm like, you know, and this is the power of shadow work as well, is that when you can understand that that person is hurting, and you know, you can try and rip me down as much as you want to, as I was saying earlier on the live stream, the power in reclaiming your power, but the, you know, what is it, the wise one doesn't speak much, right? They just listen. That's what I said, you know. You know, like, it sounds like you're really hurting, and I can understand from all that, that's a really massive life change that you're going through right now. So yeah, that would make sense why you're hurting, and you know, it's okay that, you know, you feel that way. Not everybody likes me, you know, like, it's just all this sort of thing. It does feel amazing when you choose to stay high vibe. It feels amazing when you choose to, you know, continually turn up to your discipline practices of journaling, you know, music, all that sort of thing. Exactly, Carrie. There's, you know, I just did a live stream the other day on anchoring in, and I thought I'd put it on my YouTube yet, but I haven't, so I'll go through and upload that and then come back and put it on this comments in the live stream. But it's very much around having that, you know, it was just like, and to be honest, when I got the letter and I wrote back immediately in that compassionate space, the thing that blew my mind was the photo of me as a toddler. And And it was just like, because to be honest, like, you know, along with the self, you know, the journaling, the self work, all the stuff that I've been manifesting and really staying high vibe, like really consciously disciplined, it's not been easy, right? At times it's not easy at all. And you have to remember that, right? It's, you know, yes, there's a lot of joy in it, but there's a discipline to turn up and create that joy, pretty much. Yeah. And, you know, I ended up bawling my eyes out last night, but it wasn't from a sadness. It was from a joy space. It was from a heart-centered space of like, oh my God, universe, like, are you going to show me any more signs? Like, how do you get any more amazing? You know, and it just blew me away. So when you say, you know, can you still manifest while you are feeling sad? And I say 100% yes. Because when your discipline practices are that strong and in place and you are feeling authentically, you're not backing up the flow, you're not stopping the flow, which is going to weigh you down. So when you can, you know, hold yourself in that space and allow yourself that, you know, heart space, there's no fear. You know, that's where you manifest, and your heart space, yeah? So yeah, and it is a discipline practice. You have to be doing it every day if you really want to anchor those in. Hey Lekka, Abby, you're saying you need help. What is it you're needing help with? Erin says we shine through. People can notice the difference when we enter the room. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just checking these comments. I just want to tell anyone that needs to ring. Oh, yeah, you said about the course, trust intuition. Yesterday I was feeling overwhelming sensation that I was in a different lifetime where I was, like I was fighting with myself, my inner being. Yeah. Yeah, it is that reflection on the outside there. Yeah, I've been doing it with your husband. All right. Okay. So joy comes with discipline. Yes. Yes, it does. Yep. Definitely comes with discipline. Abby, I'm wondering if you've got my internal compass meditation. So my internal compass meditation is like your first port of call, well, that and the recalling your energy, but your internal compass meditation helps to pull in, like it brings your awareness to the northeast, southwest, the above and the below, and activates your internal compass so that you can find your compass, find your direction again. Yeah, it's your compass. You lost, you're going to find your compass. You need to recalibrate your compass, your internal compass, which is what the meditation is called. I'm just going to find it for you, and that can help you start moving back in that directions and stuff. If you haven't read as well, Abby, where is that? If you haven't read the article that I shared in the comments here, so the most common question that I get asked, if you scroll back through the comments, you'll see it there. That will give you help about how to move through any changes that you've been through, relationship breakup. Usually feeling lost comes from relationship breakup, career change, not happy in your business, you know, or life, or you've just moved house or country or state. So if you haven't read that article, go and read that article and then start practicing this meditation every single day. You just need to fill in your email to get the internal compass meditation delivered to your inbox for free. They will help you start getting back on track, yeah? So once you've done those two things, Abby, then you can let me know how you go about that, okay? Hey, Michael, welcome. All right, Chanel, so based on the previous statement that we shine through when we enter a room, is it safe to say that people attack us unconsciously or subconsciously because of that? Okay, so from a shadow work perspective, the only reason that you would have people attacking you consciously or subconsciously is because that's a shadow aspect. Like in yourself, you're still judging your own light at its core. At the very core, that's exactly what it is. When, you know, like I said, every time you step up a new level of vibration or awareness or in your business or whatever it is in your life, people will always try and bring you down. Now, for a long time, well, the past 12 months, I've been following a lot of mentors online. There was a mentor that I followed on Instagram, Ask a Millionaire. He did a lot of live streams on Instagram. I just happened to catch him at the right time, and I loved what he said. Sean Thomas, his name is. I loved what he said about because he answers people's questions, obviously, like I do. And he said one day, and it was just like ding, and it just shifted my entire frame of mind. He said, when people are attacking you, or, you know, on your live stream, or on your, you know, whatever you're doing in your business or whatever in your life, see them like a fly on your shoulder, and shoo fly, and keep focus. Yeah, again, takes practice and discipline to get to that level. But when you understand, and that's the thing too, like, you know, it's like you step up a new level, you'll always have that, okay? However, if you're getting it all the time, then yeah, you need to look at the first protocol too, especially if it's new to you, is to look at your own judgments you have towards your own light. If I shine my light and be who I really am, people are not going to like me. I'm going to be rejected. I'm going to feel like an outcast. I might get killed. So there's that past life coming in, yeah? If I step into who I really am, I'm going to lose my friends and my family. People are going to judge me. You know, all that stuff, that's you attacking your light, okay? So that sort of thing would be what I'd be looking at healing within yourself. If you're finding that you do, you know, have that subconscious attacks from people. In Trust Intuition in module 4, is it module 4? I talk about psychic attack. Psychic attack and psychic, oh, what's the other thing? I've got so much stuff in there, I can't remember what it is. But psychic attack, and then the shadow integration and all of that, so that you can, you know where it's coming from, know why, know how, know, you know, all that sort of thing, of, you know, what to do with it, how to stop it, and everything like that. But at its core, how you stop it, shadow work. Simple shadow work, okay? Because as you do start to step into your light, then you are going to attract them, simply because that's your shadow wanting and calling in integration. And the more you get quicker and quicker at integrating your shadow, the less and less it's going to turn up in your reality, and then you won't have it anymore, and then it will just be like, okay, and then if, you know, and then if it continues happening, like, oh, okay, I better look at this now, yeah? So I saw your comment there somewhere, Sandra. What did you say? Something about dream stealers. Oh yeah, dream stealers, that's what I call them. Dream stealers, yeah, psychic attack and all that sort of thing. But ultimately it's your subconscious attacking yourself. And it's just, and as I said in my blog yesterday, all that is the unconscious becoming conscious. And as Marianne Williamson says, what is it? Anything that, you know, is doing this is just all it's crying out for is love. As soon as we bring our conscious awareness to it and say, what do you need? Oh, okay, let's do this together. It transforms, yeah? So I got a lot from Veronica Cresto. She has some amazing info on healing and finding your soul purpose. She has a great inner child guided meditation. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, inner child stuff is in module 3 in my course. Yeah, see, it's so important, and you know, like, and that's the thing, like the light workers of the world who have truly stepped into their purpose will be teaching about inner family healing, and, you know, healing all your family childhood wounds and integrating your shadow, because they're the two massive healings that we need to have to be able to fully step onto your life purpose. Trust yourself, but integrating your shadow and, you know, healing your soul's wounds from your past about stepping into your life purpose in this lifetime is what will do it. And that's what I teach in Trust Intuition, because I want you guys to step into your purpose and for us to create this new world, and release the pain and suffering of the world. Simple. So if nobody's got any other questions, I'll jump off a live stream. I don't know, did that help you, Chanel? I'm curious if that helped you a bit there. I'll just wait to see if you've got any questions. I'm not pulling cards for anyone today, but if you've got any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Yes, purpose. Yeah, 100%, Dustin. Abby says, for this being extremely new to me, I thank you for teaching me and others. Yeah, you're welcome, Abby. Yeah, they're the first protocols. You'll probably get a lot out of that article, the most common question I get asked, if this is new to you. So hopefully by the end of, like, you know, well, in a couple of days, I really want to just knuckle down and get my website finished, because I've got so much free self-help that can help you awaken, let alone my courses. So I just want to get it all organized on my website for you guys. So it'll be happening very soon. I'm really excited about it because there's just so much there that will help to awaken you and spread that through the world, because as we all know, it's about throwing the rock in the pond and the ripple comes out. So thanks, Carrie. So I'll just wait for another moment. If there's no more questions, I will jump off this live stream. If you think that this has helped somebody, please share it or tag their name in the comments, or you can send it to them in a private message. You're very welcome, Michael. Thank you for joining. If you've just watched this live stream, I really encourage you, if you're just jumping on this live stream, I really encourage you to rewatch it because it's really powerful. Yeah, definitely, Jess. It's a really powerful live stream about reclaiming your power, how to do that. So I just see some of the comments aren't coming up on my computer. So Chanel says, yes, it did. I've been struggling with that, and you just reaffirmed that as well. Also about it being subconsciously and turning into conscious. Yeah. Like my issue with tardiness. Like my issue I had with tardiness. Did you want to explain that a bit more? Don't have to, of course. Oh, yeah. It's big because this is... Okay, so really... Okay, so thanks for saying that, Jess. Simply because, you know, needing this, going through something huge. Shadow integration is huge right now, and I'll tell you why. Okay? I'm filming the Lightfield Yoga series, as you guys know. A lot of my new followers probably don't know, but as you know, I'm a yoga teacher and I teach the chakras coming down, right? I teach them differently. Lightfield Yoga is the series that I'm filming. There's a specific yoga sequence for each of the chakras, and I'm currently filming them, obviously starting from the crown. Now, this is no small feat, okay? This is something massive that I've been working on, and I've filmed the crown with the help of Jay Besford, who's my videographer, and we're doing this together. So film the crown, the third eye, the ears, and we're up to the throat. Now, we filmed the third eye, we filmed the crown, the third eye, and the ears. However, we had to go back and refilm the third eye because of time and everything that's been happening with the eclipses and everything that's been stirred up in our own personal lives, as well as, you know, working through the chakras in a very big way. This is grounding the chakras down onto the earth, which is just freaking phenomenal. And the power of them they have their own friggin' consciousness. They have their own beingness, right? And it was just funny because we had those 3 done. However, because we needed to go and fix up the third eye, like that's been sitting there for a couple of months, right? I've been busy, had to relaunch, all this blah blah. On 3 days ago, we went and refilmed the third eye and fixed that up. So now that's finished. Like, it was this immediate shift, straight bang into the throat chakra. So hence I happen to be talking about shadow work and the consciousness and everything like that. It's just like, you know, and definitely rewatch this live stream, Jess. And if you didn't read my blog yesterday, that fear and unconsciousness is only... it's only there, and what did I say? Or until it becomes conscious, and then it's not there anymore. So with the throat, it's shadow work, and it's not only speaking your truth, it's living it, right? Which is pretty much everything I've been fucking saying on this live stream, right? It's really strong. It's like, it's not only about speaking your truth. You know how people are like, oh, she doesn't walk her talk and all this sort of thing. What that is the, you know, if you are not... You know, if you're stuck up here, then you're blocked at your throat because you're not integrating your shadow and the darkest aspects of humanity, well, then you will be not walking your talk. You'd be really good, you know, that's what I was saying at the start of this live stream. You know all this stuff, but you don't actually experience it in reality. But like, yeah, you believe it, but it's actually not what you're experiencing. So, and that's where a lot of people got tripped up with The Secret and blah, 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 like I said, because the throat is it's the link. And that's what I always say. People are cut off at the throat chakra in society because we've been coming up for so many eons, but it's now time to come down and, you know, move through the chakras. And at that throat, when we integrate that, what that does, and integrate our shadow aspects, our darkness and our light, it actually connects the head and the heart together. Yeah, it actually allows to go, whoo, okay, cool, right? So if you haven't, you know, watched, you know, the live stream, and, you know, also about the chakras, if you're new, I might put, yeah, it is time to walk the talk. And, you know, and the only way we do that is by integrating our shadow. We still might get triggered by things, but we don't get affected by them as much. And it actually, when we get triggered, once we've integrated our shadow, it's actually a different sort of a trigger. It's that igniting fire passion that you know, it makes us go and do something about it in the world rather than still feeling powerless and feeding that energy because we want to fix that world, you know, where that's never going to happen, where we need to focus our energy on what we do want, right? Thanks, Michael. Big yes to living and speaking it. Yeah, awesome. Abby says, drawn to you, I found you without even looking for you. I'm beginning to feel hope when you speak. Oh, thanks. I'm going to put a link to the chakra playlist in here. If you haven't watched or don't know much about why I teach the chakras the way I do and stuff like that, I'm going to put the link in. It's a long video. Some of my most explanatory videos on YouTube and really most insightful ones are really quite long, but you know, if you've got the time and you feel called to learn about it, there's all this free information there, and that's why I'm hanging to get my website sorted, so that you can you know, awaken your consciousness, because I don't know, maybe that's why I've been thinking about that too, why I resonate with that sucks, Chanel. Maybe just if you write something, maybe, I don't know, just point notes or something like that, I might be able to pick it up. Maybe that's why I resonate with Marcus Rothkrantz so much, because he has so much free information out there on YouTube, on his website, on all this sort of thing, that there's no excuses to go and get healthy, because, and that's why I say there's no excuses for anything, right? An excuse is a fear of your power, ultimately, and taking back. Because if you think of, you know, oh no, I can't do that, no, and it's like you're in victim mode, right? And the opposite of that is empowerment. So if you're making excuses for anything in your life, you are scared of your power, okay? Is exactly what I was talking about yesterday. Integrating your shadow is the fastest way to do that. Yeah, I love that, Jess. I so love that. That's friggin' awesome. Integrating your shadow blows your mind. Yeah, the universe is making this happen. Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, this is what I mean when I get called to step up and, you know, teach the light field yoga, and I'm so friggin' excited because, you know, I've always had visions of me doing it around the world, you know, and teaching it and training yoga teachers in light field yoga, because it's so powerful, because these have their own consciousness. And imagine when, like, all the conscious healers of the world are actually conscious of their chakras, and especially the throat. The shadow is the biggest, you know, thing. So I'm really excited. Marcus Rothkrantz, so he's the one who, oh, there we go. I just ended up able to tag him. I must be friends with him. He's all the raw food dude, but he's got so much free information about every physical ailment, you know, and how to heal it naturally. I love his work. So there's no excuses for anything, because Google is now at our fingertips and we can learn everything we need to know on YouTube. So, you know, just know that if you start making excuses for yourself, you're just scared of your own power. That goes for, especially when you're disciplining yourself to turn up and journal and exercise every day and stay healthy, and you like go to bed and you're like me last night. I hopped into bed, I was so tired because I hadn't, like I've had a huge couple of days. As you've seen what I've been putting out in the world, I've just ramped it up because I've got all this stuff. And I fully hopped into bed, and it's really weird, right? This is so weird, because I usually brush my teeth as soon as I get out of the shower, and for some reason I didn't. Like, I was just so tired. And I hopped into bed and I was putting my meditation, and I was like, oh, and then so I didn't brush my teeth, did I? And I'm like, I'll just go to sleep. And I'm like, oh no, now I know it. I can't go to sleep. I'd be constantly thinking about it. And I was like, oh, drag myself out, brush my teeth, floss my teeth, you know. That is an example of discipline, self-care, of how do you want to wake up tomorrow? Do you want to wake up and go, oh, I actually should have brushed my teeth and feel crap because you didn't? Or wake up the next morning fresh, clear-headed, nothing weighing on you because you did everything that is disciplined for taking care of yourself and creating the life you really want. Yeah? That comes from self-worth, trusting yourself, loving yourself, and yeah, at the core of it, believing that you're worthy of it. Yeah? So I've been tidy since elementary school due to curiosity based on my teacher stating not to be. It got really bad 4 years ago. I don't know how I kept a job. I lost like 2 out of 3 because of it. Had a bad boss treat me badly and not give me a chance at a new job. Isn't it interesting, the beliefs and that we take on from other people? Funnily enough, throat chakra is all about swallowing somebody else's truth. Yeah? If, you know, you're not strong and clear in yourself, believe in yourself, trust in yourself, blah, blah. we take everybody, this comes from the people pleasing thing that I was talking about at the very start of the live stream as well. This is a very powerful live stream for reclaiming your power. Is that if you're a people pleaser, you're fearing rejection, you don't want to lose people in your life, you don't want to be hurt, you don't want to be made fun of, you don't want to feel tardy, because they said it, because you took that on of their belief, right? And that, you know, you started living that life, and you've probably, you know, had a pretty bad, crappy life because you've taken this truth on, trying to live that. It's actually not your truth. And, you know, and that's just one example. You know, if we take on somebody's truth about something and we swallow it whole, and that's not resonating with us, but we're not paying attention to that and actually release that belief system out the way. That's why personal development work is so important if you really want to move forward in your life. It will create disease in your body, because your body's like, this is not our stuff, so I'm just going to hold it here because I don't want it spreading or moving. So cysts and all that sort of stuff is, you know, and it's not like, oh, I took on their energy and it's your fault. No, it's like you swallowed that whole without even checking if that was your truth. So let's just unpack all those beliefs. This is why shadow work's so important, because when you become aware of that, you go, oh, why did I give my power away to them instead of actually, you know, doing that? So then you can look at shadow work and go, okay. And, you know, when you actually do shadow work, and like I said, I teach this in module 4, that, you know, when you actually get quick at doing this and understand it, then you can do it on the spot, right? But when you start learning it first up, and you know, you're integrating your shadow, the people that actually turn up are like the real people in your life, right? And you integrate them. I remember when I was scared of our power. Yeah, it's the biggest thing about light workers. Oh, I've got goosebumps, truth bumps saying that. It's the biggest thing about light workers is that we're scared of our power. If you guys haven't read Marianne Williamson's book, A Return to Love, I highly recommend that. So Marianne Williamson, Return to Love. It's a very easy read, that one too. So what did you say? What was the name again? Marcus Rothkrantz. I typed that in the comments too. Who was the other one I said before? Debbie Ford is awesome for shadow work. And yeah, there's other people, obviously. Debbie Ford. Come on. There we go. The Ford Institute. That's the one. For shadow work. So there's so much, like I said, there's so much free information, books, there's so much stuff you can learn about it. I've just put it all into one little easy step by step. This is how you heal stuff, because I guess the way that I've designed my course is, you know, when you go through it once, you understand the process of how to heal something really quickly. And that's when your intuition becomes really switched on and clear, because you know what's going on. You sense it. You're like, oh, that's what I need to do. It's like a process, yeah? That was huge for me. Awareness of people pleasing and fear of loss of rejection, childhood wounds. Yeah. And that's what I said at the start of this live stream, you know, like us healers, we're people pleasers. We don't want people to even be pain. We don't want people to be in pain, but we also don't want to be rejected. So we hide our light behind all these masks. That's why shadow work is called shadow, behind all the shadows. Yeah? And masks. All these masks we're wearing. Yeah? Exactly, yeah. That's a big one in the spiritual light working world, Carrie, is people pleasing, people confusing people pleasing with empathy. 100%. The people pleasing comes from here and a fear of rejection. Again, it's a fear-based thing. Empathy comes purely from the heart, which is exactly what I shared in this live stream around when you walk into a room full of unconscious people and what to do about that, and the difference between coming from here and here in that space, yeah? It's exactly that. So I'm going to jump off this live stream, because if there's people jumped on, I really want you to watch the start of this live stream, because I realise I'm starting to repeat some of the pieces of gold nuggets that I've shared, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I really want you to do that. So as you know, Trust Intuition is open. There's not much longer left, actually, nearly 10 days, 11 days left for Trusted Intuition doors are open. So then it's been closed, and when it reopens again, the price will be considerably higher. It's been this price for 12 months, so it's, you know, it's ready. It's ready, and I'm just like, wow, you know, like what I'm offering is just ridiculous, to be honest. in the value and all that. But anyway, so the doors are open until the 29th. Now, the other message that I'm getting called to share with you guys is that, thanks, Michael. And it was coming through before the gold nuggets. Yeah, I love the gold nuggets. Yes, and make sure you brush your teeth. But what else? Okay, so brushing your teeth. So journaling is another discipline for me. Cleansing my energy in the shower. You know, like those real discipline practices are things that are like non-negotiables. Exercise as well. So the other thing that I just need to share with you, it came through so strongly at the start of this live stream, like before I jumped on live stream, was the fact that it's new moon today. I'm pretty sure it peaks in like, I don't know, 6 or 7 hours or maybe 9 or something. So we're coming into, you know, we're shedding the darkness of the dark moon. We're letting go of stuff. So perfect time for integration. And the next few days we're going to start to move into the new moon energy, right? So we're, you know, it's the new new cycle of the new moon. It's the new intentions, you know, what you're putting out into the world. In 2 weeks time at the full moon, I hold the online live full moon ceremony. I'll put the link in the comments. I've got to put it on my website too, but this is the direct link if you want to book yourself in for that. And I'll get the trust intuition too. But with the full moon, I was thinking about it. I was like, wow, like, you know, all these opportunities and everything that have just landed in my lap have been from all the discipline. And, you know, my business has just gone boom and it's friggin' like next level. And I'm like, I've been manifesting this. I've been disciplined, turning up. I've been doing it and it's just gone bing. And I'm like, oh, my dreams do come true. I'm like, this is what I've been telling people the whole time. I'm like, now it's actually happening. I'm like, oh, I knew this, right? And I was thinking about it and I'm like, the past 2 full moon ceremonies that I've held online is, you know, like literally, why do I hold them on the full moon and not the new moon where new stuff is supposed to come in? Because in the fullness of the moon, and you put an intention out to the full moon, that full moon, you know, your intention's going up to her and she's shining it on the entire world, right? Her bright light is going, sending that out to the universe, out to the world with her bright light in her fullness, yeah? And so it's a really powerful thing to set intentions on the full moon. And I know the new moon is really, you know, is when you set your intentions and then they come to fruition by the full moon, which, you know, is true. However, when I've been, you know, working on manifesting, it's under the light of the full moon. Yeah, because she's in her fullness. So I'll post a link to the comments, post a link to that in the comments as well. I haven't seen any messages from you, Christine. What were you sharing there? That one did though. Not sure if my message got through. So just try again and I'll see. I'll just wait a minute to see if that comes through. So that's being held on the 3rd of December online. So you can obviously join that anywhere in the world. So I'll just post this link for you. So that's Trust Your Intuition. I'll post the link to the moon ceremony. I'll have to create a website page for that too. And I'm so excited that very soon I can get my stuff helping me. It's been a definite next level. And I'm like, right, I'm ready for my stuff now. I've been manifesting them for a while too. Everything's coming to fruition. Yeah, I'm not actually doing private readings on the live stream right now, Christine, like cards or anything like that. Sometimes I do, but not today. If you want to book a psychic reading, I'm happy to send you the link for that. So this is the full moon ceremony. Live online. I'll post that in the comments there. So yeah, happy to do a psychic reading if you want to book in. I can definitely pick up energy. You know, a lot of people say that to me. I've been getting a lot of private messages, you know, just saying, can you just see what you pick up for me? And I just blatantly say no. And I've, you know, and that's a big thing of coming from a people pleaser to actually owning my power and coming into a point of self-worth and self-care and boundaries around my energy, in the fact that I am so sensitive, I'm highly intuitive, I'm psychic, I'm in tune, which a lot of you are, right? And it gets to a point where, you know, like you pick up stuff all the time from people, yeah? Like you don't even need to ask me and I pick stuff up, right? But me actually giving you that help and advice and, you know, using my gifts has gotten to a point, you know, like, and I learned that, I think it was at the start of this year actually, I was like, well, I need to stop doing that because it's too, you know, if I'm here, you know, live stream, teaching a yoga class, you know, all of that takes a lot of energy to hold, you know, that. You know, when I get off a live stream or when I finish writing a blog, it's just like, it's this huge outpour of energy or channeling. And, you know, like, and especially in the past 2 weeks, in this past month, I've had to really ramp things up and be really mindful of my energy and who I'm giving readings to and stuff. So I don't do it very much anymore, the free readings, because it's just, I'm giving so much free content already that, you know, the people who actually book readings, you know, you've got my full help. People in my Trust Intuition course send me a message, I'm right there, because, you know, going through the Trust Intuition course and the modules, and, you know, what we're actually dealing with here is consciousness and wounds, and it's, you know, tricky and to navigate, and I'm right there for you with that, like 100%. You're in my course, you send me a message, Neha, I'm there, right? Any of my students will tell you that. But yeah, free advice and stuff all the time. I've learnt to just say no, like, and I've been getting it a lot this week too, you know, people sending a message, oh, can you just look at this that I'm working on, and I'm like, well, you just don't trust yourself. If you need my advice, I'm happy for you to book in a session and I'll give you my advice on it. But, you know, like, and I kind of just, I'm even cautious of looking at anything too, because as soon as I see something, I get a download straight away, and it's just a more mindfulness in my energy. And this is about reclaiming your power. And again, you know, where you want to focus, it's like if I was trying to help all these people, which is what I did in the very start, and I got very drained and very burnt out, and I've just had to say no and get comfortable saying no. And it's why as well I've created so much free resources, so that when somebody asks me for help and I say no, I can't, but if you give me an idea of what you're needing help with, I may have a free resource that I can direct you to that may help you. So in a sense of like getting a sense of feeling anything about you, Christine, like I could definitely do that, and I probably am, and but I'm very conscious of even just not doing that anymore. Like there's a, you know, there's a limit, because I've got a lot to get done and put out into the world. My purpose is strong and I'm in flow. Chanel says, literally can read somebody's mind and I respond to them instantly and they deny it and freak out. Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, like that's the thing, and I might release I have it on my thing to release a blog or a live stream, I'm not sure which one yet, on psychic attack and psychic abuse. That's the other one that I wanted to do, because I've had a lot of people saying, oh, I'm going to send you energy so that you read me or do a free reading for me, and I'm like, I won't respond. Because psychically and energetically I've learned to not do that anymore, and it's a part of your physical power and your spiritual power is being conscious of your spiritual psychic abilities, and that we can do that, but it's learning to be strong in your psychic abilities and just going, no, not right now. If you need help, I can direct you to a free resource, or if you'd like to book a reading, I will give you a very, very detailed, very thorough, very clear you know, specifics of what's going on for you, definitely, right? That's my job. Yeah, I got that literally, yeah. Okay, thanks Heidi. Yeah, it's taken practice to get here, definitely. So it does take practice, it takes discipline, but then you know, like going to the doctors, yes. Yeah, you have to pay for that. Yeah, going to any service you do. I've just stepped into a point where, you know, I realize my gift and my power and what I'm doing. I'll send you the link to book a reading. So the link to the Trust Intuition course is on there as well. Sorry, I'll just find this link to psychic readings. So they're audio psychic readings, so you'll be emailed the confirmation when you pay, and then you just email me any questions or specifics that you want me to tune into for you, and if you don't have anything, that's fine, I can just read you anyway. And yeah, and then I audio record it so that you can listen to it over and over again. Those audio recordings go anywhere from the Lightworker Doctor. Yes, I call myself the Chakra Doctor, actually. So yeah, and trust your intuition. Yeah, there's so much in that, so much value. But like a doctor. Yeah, so those audio readings that I do go from anywhere from 20 minutes to 60 minutes, depending on the messages, depending on the depth of the reading, depending on the, you know, what you've asked and, you know, the depth of the healing that you need. I provide audio meditations. It might be inner child, or it might be something else, shadow, or I don't know, whatever comes through in the reading for you. I provide all those meditations in the response when you get your audio reading too, so that you can go and do the self-healing. It's just very directed self-healing that, you know, is specific to you because you've booked that reading. So thanks, Heidi. Yeah, it's freaking awesome, but you guys are saying it for me too, so yeah, the proof is in the pudding, baby. All right. As I said, please share if you think this will help somebody, or tag them, or send it to them in a private message. Remember to keep it really real. Lots of love to you. Namaste.